purpose. Ain't no lovers love with white people.
Would we be considered racist if we only date within our race?
No, that's what you. And you can. Racism is a group system of exploitation. Most black people love ain't love for most white folks. Everything white people do has a political purpose. Everything white people do has a political purpose. Ain't no lovers love with white people.
Would we be considered racist if we only date within our race?
No, that's what you call race loyalty. And you can. Racism is a group system.
Yeah.
Of exploitation, discrimination, oppression, bias, where one group seeks to deny all members of another group their fair share of resources, opportunities, and privileges.
That's
right. You know why
right.
you can't be a racist?
That's right.
You don't own a damn thing white people need in order to live. White people need you for nothing, but you need them. Whose schools our kids go to?
But when you look at that whole situation and what he's saying, who made it that way? You know what I'm saying? Who made it to where we lost and put ourselves in positions where we are not in more political structuralization than years ago? We were more politically and more structuralized in order to get things done. Now you look at today, you see a lot of that has been so on and so on. And as far as they not needing us for anything, yeah, because they stole everything from us.
Theirs. True. Our money in whose banks? Theirs. Who's building the houses we need to rent and buy? Them. Who's shipping our stuff around the world that we need to order to live? Them. You follow me? They don't need us. We need them for everything. We are as dependent on white people today as we were when slavery ended 157 years ago.
You know you gotta pay the bills. You gotta pay the bills. You gotta show your advertise. You gotta show the brothers up there. Coming in hard. They're coming in hard. They're coming in hard. They're coming in hard. Like that beat.
And black people got to be careful about raising the importance of other people's issues to our own. Because by doing that, you reduce.
Oh, by the way, today's PBNN, Point Black National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well. This is one coming in by the great Umar Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we don't always agree on everything, but in debates and different things, we must come together on certain matters that is of great importance when it comes to our political structure, economic structure, and many other things, especially our political structures having power in this country to make commands and rules. You know what I'm saying? So what Umar Johnson is saying is definitely what needs to be heard and discussed all across the board, including inside the house with the young men. You know what I'm saying? And the fathers who know you have a job to do rather than just running the street the same as everyone else. You know what I'm saying? We must start to now look at things from a more better political structure, a more educational structure, but mainly most of it, you know, is the power structure is what we have to start looking at. So without further, let's get back to Umar Johnson.
Reduce the quality of your own fight, because nobody else has been through what you've been through here. Everybody in America showed up as an immigrant. We're the only people who showed up as imports. Why would you dare make the gay struggle equal? Why would you dare make the Arab or Asian struggle equal? Ridiculous. When those Asian women were murdered in Atlanta, which was a tragedy, and I didn't have a problem with the president making a law against it. But my problem was you had about 8 to a dozen Asian women get murdered in one night. As a result of one night. One night. The president and vice president flew down to Atlanta and met with the Asian community. He passed an executive order almost overnight. A congressional bill came, anti-Asian hate, unanimously passed. Almost overnight. My issue with that, one Asian tragedy, they get a personal meeting with the president and vice president. They get an executive order. They get a federal law that makes it illegal to even use a racial slur.
Mhm.
We've been here 400 years. You ain't never flew down and met with us face to face after no tragedy. When that damn devil walked into that supermarket in Buffalo, New York, and murdered those Africans, when Dylan Roof walked into that church in Charleston, South Carolina, murdered those Africans, we didn't even get a face-to-face meeting from the president of the United States, who was black at the time, Barack Obama.
Mhm.
But this is what you do for the Asians? And then you sign an executive order? And then you sign an anti-Asian hate? Where's the anti-black hate?
I don't want to sound dumb, but they would have to deal with their people. Who do we have that would support us?
I agree with you. The reason they responded to the Asians the way that they did is
They got
because
somebody
the
to call
Asians,
home.
absolutely. You have China, you have Japan,
Who do black
you have
Americans have to
countries
call?
who have political power
Yes,
that America has relationships with
Mhm.
that they can't afford to lose.
exactly.
And you will have to answer. There will be political, economic consequences for letting our people get mistreated in your land.
hmm
We don't have that.
But-
And the reason we don't have that is because we have not helped to build a single African state into the power base we need her to be so she can speak out for us. We have used our money to empower
Understandable.
all these nationalities and use almost none of it to empower Africa, the very continent we need to do what you just said. Be strong enough to be a diplomatic voice for American Africa.
But this is why I asked you before which one is more important to fix first. Because if we had that power behind us, wouldn't it be easier for us to make moves over here?
If we had that power in Africa,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're not building the power, though. In other words, we should be in Africa right now. I'm sending you to Ghana. I'm sending you to Nigeria. I'm sending you to Namibia. I'm going to go to Ethiopia. We're going to sit down with the president. Listen, we are $2 trillion people.
Yeah.
We need you to be able to speak up for us.
Would it be hard to get dual citizenship?
What are the economic slave chains that America has around your economy? What are the economic slave chains America has around your economy? And what could we do with our education and income to weaken those chains so one day they can fall? Africa would love to do business with us instead of the World Bank or the International Monetary Fund or the French government or the Belgian government or the German government. They would rather do the business with us. But the problem with black folks, we are comfortable and content being American slaves. We're not looking at the global ramifications of our irresponsible behavior. We're not looking at the global needs of our people. We are content with this America the way that it is. We are comfortable being treated like 21st century slaves. Because if we were not, with the resources we waste every day, we would be going crazy. Go down your social media feed. Does it look like black America's in a crisis? Go down your
wouldn't have
YouTube.
thought.
Does it look like black America's in a crisis? Go through your Twitter.
True.
Go in. If you did not know how racist America was, and you went to black Twitter, black Instagram, black TikTok, black
Nothing
YouTube,
important there.
could you tell?
No.
Don't it look like we live in the best times of our lives? Because black people are like overgrown children. Slavery arrested our psycho-political development. Slavery arrested our psycho-political development. The slave system turned us into eternal children in this country. What do children do? They spend their money on the things that they like, and they beg their parents for the things that they need. Is that not black America? $2 billion on Air Jordans every year.
You're right.
$4 billion on liquor, $30 billion on hair and beauty, nearly $1 billion on chicken, turkey, beef, and pork, multiple billion on video games, multiple million on children's cologne. Children's cologne. Check this out. We spend
I didn't
about
even know they had LA.
yeah, we spend about $21 million on children's cologne a year.
Wow.
What the fuck is children's cologne?
You know,
Yeah.
baby Polo,
Yeah.
baby Versace.
Oh,
Yeah, they got
yeah,
children's
okay.
cologne. But half the black boys in America in 4th grade can't read on their grade level.
That's a fact.
Half the black boys in America in 8th grade can't read on their grade level. But we
Definitely.
spending $21 million on cologne. I don't excuse nothing another race does to my people. Because as a human being, you should be able to practice decency, whether you're dealing with a billionaire or somebody who's dead, broken, homeless on the street. You understand me?
Definitely.
But we have to look in the mirror too and look at how we make it easy for people to disrespect us. Because how does a people in your condition have the time to engage in this type of tomfoolery over here? Do you feel me?
Yeah.
If I'm Chinese looking at black America, how do I make sense out of this?
Right.
Y'all can't care about yourselves because as much as you talk about reparations and as much as you talk about the next presidential election, look at the money you waste. Imagine a Korean walk into a black community meeting on reparations, a Korean, and stand up and say, "Can I ask y'all a question? Why y'all in here arguing over reparations when y'all done turned my people into $1 trillion nation? I make $30 billion off y'all people a year.
Mhm.
$30 billion a year. How much have we give the Koreans over the past 30 years? What's 30 billion times 30 years? And you talking about reparations? You see that? But black people are in denial about our self-hate. I tell black women all the time, if you would just stop hating the way God made you, you can take your $30 billion a year and build an independent school for every black girl out here. You could stop child sex trafficking. Black women could wipe out child sex trafficking for black girls by taking some of that $30 billion on here. But guess what? How I look is way more important than the condition of my people. Black men, same thing. We could take the $4 billion on liquor, the $2 billion on Air Jordans, the multiple billion we spend on vacations, all the money we spend on these damn non-black women. We could take that money and build black schools for black boys all over the country.
Yeah, but I want to know, we can't, I mean, I don't want to say we can't change that, but that's we're surrounded by it. It's like every block has a liquor store. Every block has sneakers.
That don't mean you have to partake.
No, I
Discipline.
agree with that 100%.
Where
but
is the discipline?
it's so hard for the people that don't know no better.
Discipline.
But
Yeah, we do know better. We do. Even the most politically uneducated black person knows there's something better I could be doing with this money. Do you
True.
feel me?
I agree.
We are comfortable in our oppression. And the reason we're comfortable in it is the white man has allowed us enough of his useless amusements to content us with our oppression. We got the cell phone, social media, NBA playoffs. We have enough. See, black poverty ain't the same as African poverty. It ain't the same as Caribbean African poverty. It ain't the same as Brazilian African poverty. Our poverty is damn near middle to upper class in most other places.
Compared, yeah.
Do you understand me? And so because we don't have it as bad as other people, we think we winning when we losing. We think we winning when we lose.
Is that why, you know, when Africans or the Caribbeans come over here and they be like, yo, you know what? Y'all got it easy. Like, you know what I mean? Y'all just being lazy.
Compared to what they come from.
Right, yeah.
And when they come, they take advantage of whatever they can do. So they'll work at the taxi, they'll work at the airport security, right? And they'll save that money and they will send it back home. Many of them come over there to hustle and to send the money back home. And I don't have no problem with them doing that. You understand? But what I do need the African immigrant brother and sister to understand, America will give you opportunity that she will never give me because you are not a threat. You can be
100%.
deported whenever they feel like it.
True.
You can be stripped of your American citizenship or your green card whenever they feel like it. They can strip me of my citizenship, but where do they send me? Nowhere. We are the only people that cannot be deported. And that's why America can't stand us, even though she's the reason she can't get rid of us.
So I know you said earlier that you don't want to beg anybody to be a part of the movement, basically,
Yes,
right?
or the race.
Right. So, but it just seems like a lot of people are ignorant to what's going on here. So it wouldn't be begging. I just think they need to be educated.
You know you got to pay the bills. PBNN Point Black National News, the latest and great edition, and the ghetto edition as well. You know we do. You know we do.
So it wouldn't be begging. I just think they need to be educated. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay,
I think they're ignoring it.
I don't disagree totally. You have Negroes and you have coons.
Okay.
The Negro is completely ignorant. He would respond to what you just suggested. Take a Negro who think white people are everything. White women are beautiful. White people are more intelligent. Black people are lazy. He's a Negro. He's been miseducated. You educate him, you can bring him back into the revolution, right?
Right.
He was just a Negro. He didn't know.
Right.
But then you got the coon. The coon knows that the white man ain't better. The coon knows that black people are the original people. But he's paid and financed to intentionally mislead his people. The Negro, I can work with because I can educate him out of his situation.
Right.
The coon is dangerous. The coon has stabbed me in my back the minute I turned my back. And that's why many of our African leaders from around the world have been betrayed by members of their inner circle. Patrice Lumumba, murdered by a friend. Thomas Sankara, murdered by a stepbrother. Malcolm X, murdered by people he trusted. Dr. King, set up by people he trusted. When you look at the black struggle globally, because you got to look at all of our heroes and sheroes, not just the ones here. Many of them were set up and sabotaged by people they grew up with and who they trusted. Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown in Ghana with the assistance of his college roommate at Lincoln University in Pennsylvania.
It's like
The State Department found his roommate, sent him to Ghana to help overthrow his roommate, who was the first democratically elected president in Africa post-colonization.
that's like the Fred Hampton story I've seen recently.
Right. Now, that informant wasn't a friend of Fred Hampton, but to your point, he weaved his way into his trust, sold him out, gave the FBI a drawing of Fred Hampton's apartment, drugged his Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
You understand? So when you get in this movement for black liberation, you don't have no friends.
I have a quick question for you that may be personal. Do you feel like, since you're a big impact to the black community, that you're in danger?
I'd say this. I get death threats on a regular basis. I know the FBI and CIA tap my phone. They've been doing it since my first trip to Africa, 2005. There's about 6 people who come around me on a regular basis who I'm pretty certain are paid agents. Some of the women who have expressed interest in me over the past 6 months, I definitely believe that they are paid agents. But I'm going to say this to you. When I look at Malcolm and Martin, and I listen to their friends who survived them, they often talk about how those 2 great black leaders, 2 of my heroes, got to a point in their life where they were so spiritually and emotionally exhausted from the threat of death that they felt they secretly wished for it to come to get it over with.
Because like always looking over your shoulder kind of situation.
They got tired of it.
Right.
Dr. King got tired of it. Malcolm got tired of it. And I think they asked the Lord, just make sure when they hit me, they don't hit my daughter and children, my wife and children. You feel me? I don't ever want to get to the point where I'm that fatigued from the threat that it takes away my commitment to the struggle. Now, they never lost their commitment to the struggle. But they basically died before they died, if you understand what I'm saying. Because once you psychologically exhausted with the threat of death, there's nothing else to live for. I'm still struggling, but I'm not enjoying my life.
Gotcha.
My wife can't really enjoy me. My kids can't really enjoy me because my mind has become beaten down with the prospect of death. Remember, they bombed Dr. King house twice. They bombed Malcolm house the day before a week before he died, right? I don't ever want to get like that. So I discipline myself. I practice traditional African spirituality. I try to stay as rooted as possible. I need to do a better job, but that's my walk. The biggest thing that insulates me, though, is I believe I was born to do what I did, what I'm doing. I don't believe I was born to be nothing else but what I am right now. And because I believe that I'm on a God-given mission, and because I believe that the ancestors are helping me as much as possible to achieve the goals that I have in mind for my people, which is ultimately liberation for all African folks. If I die in the work, it was my destiny. And if I don't, it wasn't. You know what I mean? So for me, I'm content with whatever happens. But my comfort and peace of mind comes from knowing that this is the destiny I negotiated with God in heaven before I incarnated. So it don't really bother me.
So let me ask you this question, right? Just to go back to the dating outside your race. You once said that dating interracially is a form of self-hatred.
Absolutely.
Why do you believe that?
Absolutely. Because why do you want to stare in the face of a member of the people who have committed the greatest human atrocities against your people? These are the people.
Is that only specifically to white people, or do you mean if they date an Asian woman or Indian woman? Is that still the same?
Well, I got 2 answers. If we're dealing with white people, why would you want one of them after what they've done to us and continue to do? Because your white girlfriend's still a racist. She still doesn't value black life. You understand? That white man Serena Williams is married to, he don't value black life. You understand? That white woman that took $1 billion from Tiger Woods, she don't value black life, right? I can give you countless examples of people I've met in therapy who were called the N-word by white husbands and white wives. You understand me? White people who have sex with you, didn't the slave master sleep with our mothers and grandmothers? So just because they land in the bed with you, what makes you think that they shed their racism? They don't. White people are racist. All white people are racist. There's no exceptions. They might not all be bigots, but they're all racist. They all want their people to dominate unfairly the resources, the opportunities, and the privileges of this society.
So
every white person.
What about the people that just say love is love, right?
Who believes love is love?
I mean, that's most people's answer
Most
when they
who?
talk
That might be
about.
most black people. Love ain't love for most white folks. Everything white people do has a political purpose.
Mm.
Everything white people do has a political purpose. Ain't no love is love with white folks.
Would we be considered racist if we only date within our race?
No, that's what you call race loyalty. And racism is a group system
Yeah.
of exploitation, discrimination, oppression, bias, where one group seeks to deny all members of another group their fair share of resources, opportunities, and privileges. You know why you can't be a racist? You don't own a damn thing white people need in order to live.
True.
White people need you for nothing, but you need them.
Mm-hmm.
Whose schools our kids go to? Theirs.
True.
Our money in whose banks? Theirs. Who's building the houses we need to rent and buy? Them. Who's shipping our stuff around the world that we need to order to live? Them. You follow me?
Mm.
They don't need us for shit. We need them for everything. We are as dependent on white people today as we was when slavery ended 157 years ago.
So
In my opinion, if you talk to an integrationist, and say, how far have we come since slavery? Well, we've come very far. We got a black president. Now we got a black vice president. We got a black Supreme Court justice. We got about 10 black billionaires. We got about 100 black millionaires.
Ain't shit changing.
Because their definition of progress is based exclusively on superficial assets. Are you following me? Now that's the integrationist. Now you come to me, the nationalist, the Pan-African nationalist. How much progress have we made since slavery? Zero. But Dr. Umar, how can you say that? Black people got master's degrees, doctorate degrees, houses in white neighborhoods. We own our own businesses. We got millionaires. We got tech companies. Here's my question. To what extent are we now in a better position to protect and dictate the lives of our children today than we was when slavery ended? Let me ask it another way. When slavery ended, we owned 0.5% of all the wealth in America. Guess how much we own now?
The same.
1/2
Wow.
of 1% of all the wealth in America. What the fuck has changed? Nothing at all but the appearance of things.
Right.
The only thing they did when they ended slavery is change the way it looked. They traded in slavery. Before the 13th Amendment, we were owned by individuals. We was the property of individual slaveholders. After the 13th Amendment, we became property of the government itself. We are slaves of the state.
So
Still not free.
let me ask you a question, because
In other words, if you walk out here right now and a police officer pulls you over and takes your life, God forbid, unjustifiably, how was that any better than you being on the plantation picking cotton and the overseer just decides to get off his horse and blow your damn brains out? 157 years apart, was there any difference in the power dynamic?
Hell no.
Nothing at all.
You're right.
We are exactly where we were.
there's no ramifications.
Power is the measuring stick, y'all. Not education, not income, not billionaires and millionaires. How many black people on TV, Obamas and Kamalas? That's irrelevant. How much power do we have
None.
to force white people to leave us the hell alone? And do we have any more now than we had in 1865?
I don't see it.
Moving.
wait, hold on. Let me ask a question real quick, because a lot of people say that Obama got in office and he did nothing for black people. Do you think he had the power to do anything when he was president?
I want to ask a question before that question. Do I think he had the power?
Yeah.
Yes and no. Major changes, he didn't have the power.
Right.
Minor changes, he did. For example, Barack Obama could have got us more black teachers. Barack Obama could have did something about the special education exploitation of our children. He could have done something about the suspensions and expulsions. He could have fought for better schools and more black educators, because everybody agrees that the schools are a problem. Do you understand? Everybody agreed that the schools. Obama didn't do nothing about that. You follow me? He could have done something about black homelessness. He didn't. Now, for the black middle class, he threw them a couple bones and allowed them to buy a house and that kind of shit, if you consider that progress, right?
Right.
But overall, did he systemically change anything for black people? Not at all. Did he systemically change anything for gay people? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But don't you think it's easier for one to do that because of the power that they possess? Because of, you know what I mean, there's white people, Asian people that's in that community.
Okay, possibly, but here's my question for you now.
Um,
Let's say Obama had no power to change nothing. Let's
Right.
just say that.
Mhm.
Then why would you vote for him for your presidency?
I was ignorant
Right.
to how that whole system worked.
Gotcha.
When I first voted, I just turned 18. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So as I'm learning more, I realized that it goes through a vote and you need certain seats, people
Right.
in these seats
Right.
to push bills through. He didn't have that. Even Biden now, where we voted in these seats, he's still not doing nothing for black people.
But you know what the difference is?
Uh-huh.
Presidents have executive privilege. Barack Obama could have signed executive orders to do things for black people that he did not do. Remember, Biden gave the Asians an executive order before Congress gave them a law. He gave the Native Americans an executive order before Congress gave them the law. You follow what I'm saying? Donald Trump gave the Hispanics, the Latinos, an executive order before. You understand? Obama could have used the power of his pen. And here's my one thing against Barack Obama. My one thing. You're right. I'm not going to slight him for not changing anything. I'm going to slight him for not even trying. Do you see the difference?
Definitely.
You the president of student government at college. You didn't get nothing done. But guess what, brother? I salute you because I saw you fight for me. You feel me? You didn't get nothing done, but I saw you fight for me. Every time I turn on the television, Barack Obama talking about homosexuals. Like they the only people in the country. That's all he talked about. Middle-class white people, homosexuals, women, and immigrants. That's all he cared about. Black people got no attention from him, but that's why the white man put him in there. When Obama was running for office, I'm one of the only scholars of public stature that said when he's done, we're going to be worse off than we was before he got in there. You go to I did a lecture at Black and Nobel Bookstore in Philadelphia. It's on YouTube. Go watch it. People still watching now. They say, Dr. Umar, everything you said in the Obama, and this is why he was running, everything you said about him, it has all come to pass. Why? I'm not no genius, but what I do know is every time we get elected officials, the condition of black people gets worse. It never gets better. Rarely do we do better when somebody black gets elected.
You don't think he was personally hand selected, especially after the
for sure
whole
he was.
Bush
For sure he was.
situation?
Yeah. They selected Barack Obama to make make the black community in America safe for homosexuality. And they needed him internationally when back Africa support because America needs Africa's resources. So he was a stooge and a puppet. He knows it, but he did it willingly. You know, I'm sure he has trouble sleeping at night sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But my point again, if he has no power, and if you claim your vote, see, both things can't be true. Either your vote is important, or Obama should have never been elected because he ain't got the power to do nothing. You see that? You can't have a vote. You can't say my vote means everything to me, but I'm going to use it on a man who can't do anything for me. It can't be both ways. I'm going to be honest with you. And I don't blame Barack Obama. To his credit, he never said he would do nothing for black people. Do you understand me?
Face value.
When Jesse Jackson ran for president, 84, 88, he said he would do something for black people. When Al Sharpton ran, he said he would do something for black people. When Barack Obama ran, he made sure he didn't mention black people. Even in his presidential address, he wouldn't even mention Dr. King by name. He just said a preacher from Georgia. He wouldn't even say his name. Obama stayed as far away from black issues as possible. So to his credit, he didn't lie to us. We projected onto him this messianic complex that's failed us. Because guess what? You know what? Do you think Joe Biden would have ignored black people if we didn't let Obama do it for 8 years? Do you think Donald Trump would have ignored black people if we didn't let Obama do it for 4 years, for 8 years? You will never get another president's attention anymore. Because the whole world watched black America catch hell and give Barack Obama a pass for 8 years. The worst thing we could have ever done was publicly say it was okay.
How do we bring
for him
value
to not do nothing and just be black?
How do we bring value back into our vote?
Yeah,
You have to organize it along racial lines.
I thought it was disrespectful
Get out the Democratic Party.
when Joe Biden
That's right.
was asked by Charlemagne.
That's right.
Why should black people
Get
vote
about
for me?
the
He's just
Democratic
like, well,
Party. Form your
vote for
own.
me, you're not black. Like that wasn't
Form
an
your own.
answer. He just was like, yo,
It was disrespectful, but you know why? And he didn't get no flag from it.
he didn't.
But you know why he was comfortable enough to say that? Because the Democratic Party has owned the black vote since 1933.
That's true.
This is 2023.
That's right.
So in another 9 years, we would have voted Democrat for a century.
That's
What
right.
have the Democrats done so great that we owe them our vote for 100 years, brothers? 100 years. 100 years.
Great question.
You see that? Get out to your question. Get out the Democratic Party. Get out the Republican Party. Black people need to become independents, and we need to run and finance our own independent candidates.
That's
So
right.
when you become mayor of New York, when you become governor of New York,
That's
when
right.
you become a city council or state rep, you're going to do whatever the black community tells you to do because you don't owe nobody nothing.
That's
You don't
right.
take no money from the Rockefellers. You ain't take no money
That's right.
from Chase Manhattan.
That's
See
right.
that? You ain't take no money from Morgan Stanley.
That's
You ain't
right.
take no money from Walmart. You ain't take no money from Hyundai.
That's
You ain't
right.
take the money from McDonald's. You are a free candidate. The problem with our elected officials is 99% of them show up in office already enslaved by the dollar.
Already
of
enslaved
another
by the dollar.
So how can
We up there celebrating, oh, he's the new mayor of New York City, like the guy y'all got now.
Shoot.
Ain't he a... Oh, no.
You know you gotta pay the bills. You know you gotta pay the bills. You gotta pay the little bill. You know.
We up there celebrating, oh, he's the new mayor of New York City, like the guy y'all got now.
Shoot.
Ain't he a
Shit
former
was
police
bored.
officer?
Yeah.
What we vote for him for? He's a damn cop. No disrespect to him. He might be a nice guy. But you fraternal order of police?
His color's blue.
So thank you. Thank you. So what we vote for him for? Because black people love to be
how can an
oppressed.
independent party win them? Because if
You don't need to win. In fact, you don't even need the party. You just need an independent political union.
Right.
In other
That's
words, let's say
right.
we're a numerical minority, right?
right,
We could run an independent. We never gonna win because whites got more votes than us and Latinos now got more
Right.
votes than us, right?
right,
Yeah.
We don't have to win. We're going to leverage our votes. We're going to have a political town hall meeting with all the major candidates: Republican Party, Democratic Party, Libertarian, Green Party, right?
Mhm.
You say, hey, this is New York City. We got 4 million black votes. And we putting them all in one place. We are not splitting. Do not divide the black vote. Put it together.
Mhm.
We're going to ask y'all some questions. After y'all leave, we're going to talk about y'all behind y'all back. We're going to have a big community town hall debate. But when we walk out of here, we agree that majority rules.
right.
And whichever one of y'all we vote for, that's who's going to get the votes. And if you do not deliver on what you promised, very next election, you're gone. They're going to have to deliver. Can they survive without your 4 million votes? Hell
Nope.
no. Hell no.
That's why they said save us for the end and start
Absolutely.
stupid shit to make us
Listen,
happy.
here's what y'all need to understand. Nobody wants an organized black vote. Let me say that again. No black governor candidate wants an organized black vote. No black U.S. Senate candidate. No black U.S. rep. No state rep, state senator, city council. Nobody, black or white, in politics wants an organized black vote. You want to know why? Because you now got the power to hold them accountable. If we was organized, your mayor would have to go to war with the police department on our behalf. He wouldn't have a choice, or he's
Right.
going to be unseated.
Right.
Do you understand me?
Mhm.
You think he wants y'all to be organized? These handkerchief head ass black politicians who don't fight for us in these governmental systems, do you really think they want your vote to be organized? You will make them turn their slave master into an enemy.
Do you think that's why they give women and trans people so much leverage when it comes to like separating them from an actual like black man or the black family?
Yes, I do think they want the black female vote because she's the biggest constituency in our community, right? Brothers don't vote, brothers in jail, brothers know the vote ain't gonna mean shit until we organize it. So yes, they would rather have a black female vote than a black community vote, hands down, because black women vote more than black men. And that's why we need our sisters to come back into the fold and say, you know what? We're not voting as women, we voting as black people. And we voting with our men. Do you know how powerful that would be?
Right.
If black men and black women stop the dumb shit on social media and say we're gonna fight because we got a common enemy, white supremacy, and we're gonna put our votes behind a candidate who offers to do the most for us, that would be revolutionary.
Definitely.
So speaking of that, you know, I seen a video of yours where you said that feminism has conditioned black women to view black men as the enemy.
It has. Feminism was financed by the CIA. Gloria, what was her name? Gloria Steinem, I think she was.
Right. Yeah.
Mother of modern feminism, because traditional feminism goes back to the 1800s, right? With Susan B. Anthony and those white supremacists. But Gloria Steinem was a CIA agent. They financed her. Her first feminist magazine they paid for. The CIA brought feminism into the white household to get the woman out the house and into the black household to turn the black woman against the black man. To scapegoat us for problems caused for her by white supremacy.
So, you know, obviously, you know, a big thing, obviously, we spoke about the gender wars, you know, earlier. Obviously, there's a lot of conversation nowadays about the value of what a woman brings and the value of what a man brings in a relationship. And now there's a lot more rhetoric from our women that we hear is I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, right?
That's pain speaking, though.
Right.
Because most black women know they will never get a man. A black woman can have sex whenever she wants.
Right.
Because she's beautiful. She can have a bed mate, but to have a soul mate, she may never get. I have 2 daughters, 11 and 20, right? My oldest would be 21 this week. Statistically, right? There's a strong chance my daughter could be one of those. I hope she's not. She could be one of those who never get a husband because only 1 out of 4 gets a husband. You see that? So when a black woman says, I don't need a man, that is a reaction to the reality that I may not get a man.
So why not preach? Because I understood, you're obviously against interracial relations when it comes to black men with with white women.
With all women. You should only be with the black woman.
And you will say, well, if you can't find a good woman in America, there's plenty in Africa.
Absolutely.
So why not teach that same rhetoric to our women? Like if you feel
I tell sisters all the time, go to Africa. So I know sisters who marry. I just spoke with a sister. She invited me to the wedding. She just married a brother from the continent.
So, but instead of saying they will never get married,
I'll take sisters to Africa who married brothers they met in Africa.
Right.
So yeah,
I think I think there's obviously plenty of black men,
yes,
black women. So
and what I also tell black women, if you're going to go get you an African man from the continent,
right,
you're going to have to understand that the way in which you talk to black men in America will not be tolerated over there.
Mm-hmm. Why the fuck is it tolerated? It's not tolerated here. That's what we're trying to tell them.
Well, over here, I want to say this to us, though.
Mm-hmm.
Because we try to act like the way sisters treat us doesn't have a history that we are not at least partly responsible for. Let's be honest. The black woman has had to hold down the black house by herself, although imperfectly. She's had to do it by herself since the mass incarceration of black males began in the 1970s. You understand me? Most of our children are raised by a single mother right now. And it has been that way for about 50 years. So when a sister says, I don't need a man, because she couldn't find one strong enough to hold her down. Or when you meet a woman and you say, sister, I'm strong enough to be your man. You ain't got to work or you ain't got to pay the bills or whatever. Pull back. I got you. And she can't do it because all the other men before you who disappointed her. So what I'm saying is, black men, we got to be patient with our women because we created that personality. We created that. And then we want to act like we didn't play a role.
We have to be held accountable for their poor selection.
No, you have to be held accountable. No, you have to be held accountable because they have a poor selection. See, what you're saying, you're selecting a poor mate. And what I'm saying is they don't have much to select one, so of course she's going to end up with a poor mate. And why is she going to end up with a poor mate? Because we as black men are not raising black boys to be the men that our women need. We are not. They out there killing themselves right now. What we doing about it? Unemployed black males, what we doing about it? Pants sagging, weed smoking, what we doing about it? Black men are not raising black boys to be the men our community needs. That is 100% our fault. What I'm saying is she got a right to be angry with us. She got a right to be angry with us. We have not been on our job as black men. If the men are the providers, what have we been providing for our community? I'm not speaking you individually.
Yes.
Because you may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father. You may be a damn good father, but guess what? What are we doing for the community? What are we doing for the children who don't have a father? You don't think the black woman got a right to be angry when she's been raising 2/3 of the kids by herself for 50 years? And the minute she raised her voice, we say she's not humble enough? She had to become masculine to survive the rape, the molestation, the domestic abuse. Are you telling me you can't see how we created that?
I understand that, but she needs to be more
If we was loving
selective.
our women and taking care of our women, do you think she would be like that? That personality has a history.
If she's picking Pookie and Ray Ray instead of
You're making her a scapegoat.
No, she's picking a scapegoat.
No.
There's good quality men that they ignore.
Why she even got it? Why is there even a Pookie in the selection?
You gotta ask her that.
No. I'm gonna tell you why there's a Pookie in the selection.
What?
Because black men have abandoned black boys and have allowed social media, white media, athletes, and rappers to raise them. That's why she with Pookie. If we never allowed Pookie to develop, she would not have a Pookie. If we're going to be men, the first thing we got to do is take responsibility for why our women feel the way they feel.
I can hear that. and
I'm
I can
not
respect that.
saying
Yeah.
that they're right to disrespect, because even if a woman disrespects me, right, that still don't give me a right to disrespect her, because she's still the queen of the community. Even if she not acting like it, I'm going to give her that respect. But when I hear brothers talk like this discourse we having now,
Yeah.
we act like we don't understand.
No,
There's reasons for that shit.
I do understand. Women are so valuable. You get what I'm saying? Like, I think women ground men and help them, propel to the next level. I think men get further in life with a woman, right? But if I'm a hardworking man, but I'm only looked at as resources,
okay,
and then she's ready to jump on Tom, Dick, and Harry because he got flash, he's shining a little bit more, his access to money is quicker than mine. It's kind of hard to have that.
Well, no, one, I agree with you, but that's not all sisters.
No, it's not. It's
and if
not.
you're constantly running into that type of woman, then the problem is you, because you're attracting a certain low vibrational energy. Why is
not
that?
have that same energy for women? You just again, you have
because
the man
we having a
responsible.
conversation as men.
Yeah.
I got.
What happens when the
You know
prostate
you gotta pay the
enlarges
bill.
and the
You know you
urine
gotta pay the
channel gets
bill.
tight? If you have an
gotta
enlarged
pay the
prostate,
bill.
do this 15-second Japanese.
Energy for women. You just again, you have
Because
the man
we having a
responsible.
conversation as men.
Yeah.
I got plenty of interviews with all women where I check them too.
Right.
But as a man, you should not be concerned about what I say to them. No, as men, we should be concerned of what we're going to do to produce a better generation of black males for tomorrow. That's the only that is where we should be focusing.
Women bring the choice of life, right? We understand that, right? I can't have a child unless a woman agrees.
And she can't carry one if you didn't put it in her.
I agree with that 100% too, right? But whether or not, if you want that child or not, she can still make that decision. It's only
If
up
you
to her.
don't put a seed in her, nothing else happens. And no woman can make you put a seed in her. So the original act was the responsibility of a man.
True. I mean,
all right. So, did black men willingly leave the household, or was it the system that was?
It was
pushing
systemic.
All right. So how if we giving them grace for them having to do it without us, but it wasn't our fault, how are we not getting that same grace and that same respect?
I'm gonna tell you why.
Why?
I'm gonna tell you why. Because black men, as the leaders of the community, now
we can't be leaders.
Here's the
Women
question
not
we gotta
accepting
make.
that.
Here's the question. Because the argument y'all make, feeds into the feminist agenda.
Okay.
It's an argument that says, I don't want the responsibility.
I'm a leader.
I
in
don't
my
want to
home,
fix
though.
shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to fall back and let her run everything. That's what the feminists tell. They say, look at them, making excuses for why they can't be better men, making excuses for why they can't make better men. You understand? Your argument feeds the feminist narrative.
That's
and it's dangerous.
That's not what we're making excuses for.
I'm saying I am the better man, but I shouldn't be held responsible because you wanted to choose a Pookie and a Ray Ray. That's not me. I worked too
And
hard
I'm
in my
going to go
life.
back to what I said. Pookie and Ray Ray shouldn't exist. And the only reason why Pookie and Ray Ray exist because we're not in the community making those boys the men they need to be. Do you see that?
And,
she don't get a Pookie if you didn't allow a Pookie.
But she got an Eli. She ain't come to Eli. She went to Pookie. And that's what we're trying to say.
She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow
I worked too
one.
hard in my life.
She wouldn't have had a Pookie if we didn't allow one.
But Dr. Umar,
Men supposed to make the raise the boys.
Right. We as men is holding other men accountable for the same thing that you're talking about right now.
What are we doing for the young brothers in the street? So
what you mean, mentoring them? Now I mean, he's a great father.
I ain't talking. That's individual. That's good. But that's individualism.
Yeah.
What are we doing collectively as men to change the trajectory for black boys in the streets right now?
I believe
Nothing.
We're being
but
a voice.
talking shit.
Yeah, I mean, you can take it
It's
as
not
that.
going to get better unless we put hands on deck. The reason the athletes and the rappers are the role models is the professional black man moved out the hood. Where the dentist at? He ain't in the black community no more. Where the lawyer at? Where the business owner at? Where your city council person at? We abandon black boys, and then we blame black men for poor choices in mates that they should not even have to make if we did a better job raising our boys the right way. At the end of the day, if I'm gonna call myself a man, the ultimate responsibility for reconstruction of the black community rests with me. Yes, they have a role. Yes, they have responsibility. But as a man, as a leader, to say I can't fix this shit unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man.
I don't see. I think we're on two different accords. Like, I don't think we're saying that. What I'm saying is I'm capable of being that leader, that provider. I've worked hard in my life. You get what I'm saying? I should not have to.
You still go
I
back
only-
to
but
individualism.
I only feel like we tell black men that we have to now deal with masculine women, women with children.
Why
by
is
other,
she masculine?
That
Because
don't
she's
got-
had to raise the kids alone. Not one woman,
So you mean
brother.
to tell me
a whole community.
So you mean to tell me the only woman I could look forward in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men?
No,
That's what I have to look forward to?
But
You
I'm
see-
telling you, mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be. And I'm telling you, black men are responsible for her being masculine because we have not helped her raise them children.
I am
and when
not.
I say help them raise them children, I don't mean you as the stepdad.
No, yeah,
I
agree.
mean you
Yeah, yeah.
as an active member in
Definitely.
the community
Yes.
where we go to every single parent black mother and say, how many sons you got? 2? How many sons you got? 2? Well, guess what? That's your son's big brother. That's your son's big brother. He taking them to school. He doing the homework. He gonna spend a couple hours with them every Saturday. He got his own kids too, but he gonna make time for you. She got masculine because she had to become masculine in order to deal with the rape, the abuse, the domestic violence, the disappointments that men had in her life, and also raising those kids and having to take care of herself all at the same time. The black woman has been the be-all, end-all in our community for half of a century, and now we want to turn around and say because she didn't do it perfectly enough or remain feminine enough when she had to absorb our responsibilities plus her own, that's insensitive and disingenuous.
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, I guess I do understand what I understand what you're saying.
I'm not
And
taking
you
nothing
have
back from
yet
that.
to tell me something that we've done systemically to combat that.
Because
Because you keep saying me and her. I don't care about me and her.
but there's plenty of
Women and men. Women and men as a group in the
Right.
community. You understand?
Right.
We gave birth to that. You see? So you say she had a couple kids already because she met men. She probably thought they was good. Some of them, they left her.
She knew they wasn't good.
You don't know that,
She
brother.
knew they wasn't good.
You're
bro.
making
You know what I'm saying?
assumptions about her. Would you make the same assumption if she was a white woman?
Yes, I would.
So you say.
No,
No,
I-
that
no,
was-
man,
no.
nah.
So you say.
Come
You
on,
hold all
Listen.
women accountable.
So you say.
Listen,
Come on.
like I said, I feel like as a black
We
man,
don't hold them all accountable because black men date outside their race more than every other man put together.
I said we.
Y'all 3.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah.
I
But
can't disprove that because I don't know you personally.
Even that,
But
if we look at the numbers, black men marry black women at an 87% rate, where black women marry outside of their race, or they marry outside at a 92%.
black women
That's
do
only
not. No, you're
that's
wrong.
percentages
You're
apart.
wrong.
That's not that much.
Black women do not marry out the race more than black men.
I'm
That's
not
wrong.
saying that, but the percentages
Black
ain't that
women,
far off. That's what I'm
black
saying.
women have one of the highest, fastest growing interracial marriage rates.
Mhm.
But her interracial marriage rate pales in comparison to what black men have been doing interracially for 4 or 5 decades. You
Oh,
understand? She don't even come close to what we're doing
And black,
interracially.
black fathers are in the home more than any other group or race.
Okay. But what
That has no value.
it does have value, but we're going to put that up against the other statistic. 2/3 of our kids are being raised by the women. 2/3 of our kids are being raised by the women.
Mhm.
And like I said, when I say being raised, I'm not saying it needs to be a father. I would like a father in that house,
Yeah.
but I know it's not enough of us to go around.
Yeah.
We are not even being accountable to the boys in the hood. And we're complaining about the women
I argue with women
who
all
are
the
making babies
yeah,
with the irresponsible men that we didn't raise correctly. That's bullshit.
all right.
That's wimp ass weak man shit.
Mm.
Take responsibility for our shit. Stop scapegoating them.
Yeah, I could agree to that.
All I'm saying is look at all we could be doing better, man.
Oh, I get-
Half the black boys in the 4th grade can't read. What black men doing about that systemically?
Not enough.
I know what I'm doing about it. I'm
I
building
agree.
a school for it, 2 of them.
Mhm.
But systemically, as black men, what are we doing about that? Nothing. Black boys are the most unemployed teenager in America. What black men doing about that?
Not
See, the
as much.
Pookie and Ray
Not
Ray
as
you
much.
kept talking about?
Mhm.
We letting them raise right before our eyes, and then we want to criticize her for ending up with one when we should have made sure there were none.
Listen, we all got choices. Just like if I choose to live a
You're
lifestyle
dealing
that
with
could,
individualism
that
again.
could,
I
but
can't
that's
deal with
part
that.
of choices.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
We have to deal with this systemically. He brought up a question earlier, and he said, did we make these
That's right.
problems on our own, or was there some systemics
That's
involved?
right.
It was
That's
systemics.
right.
Okay.
In 1970, they shut down the factories. They took out the industrial
Break it down.
building
Break it
jobs.
down.
1980, dropped off the crack and the AIDS.
Break it down. Break it down. Break it
Bill Clinton
down.
Crime bill. There's systemic
Break it
factors
down.
at
Break it
play.
down.
You totally divorce your analysis from any systemic factors at all. You ain't mentioned one. You can be talking about her and Pookie and Ray Ray with the kids. You ain't said shit about the systemics. That's exactly what white folks want you to do. That's
Because
what white folks want you to do.
I'm saying that I have
Ignore
made
what I've done to your women and scapegoat her. Because that's what she's doing to you. She's ignoring what the system did to you. And she's going to scapegoat you.
And
We're
they-
both
and-
scapegoating each other.
Okay, that's fair.
Break it
Your
down, break it down,
analysis
break
is
it down,
feeding
break
the
it
shit,
down.
It's not solving it.
Listen,
Break it down, break it down.
I don't mind us holding the
Right.
women accountable. I don't mind
That's
us holding the men
right.
accountable.
Right.
There
But
you
when we're going to
go.
hold the system accountable as well.
That's
And if we're going to
right.
hold the system accountable, that also means we got to make our own systems.
That's
Black
right.
men have not been manly in quite some time when it comes to raising boys.
How would you suggest that black men take on the role of leadership
Especially when there's an attack on
Yeah.
black masculinity.
without women willing to listen to us? You get what I'm saying? How do we prove our worth or take back the
Take care of the
leadership role?
boys. You want the women back? Take care of these damn boys. They run in the hood, killing people at will, flunking out of school, following the lead of the gangster rappers. There's a whole bunch
There
of
it
stuff
is.
we
There
can
it
do
is.
Mhm.
that ain't got
There
nothing to
it
do with the
is.
women,
I agree on that point.
boys and men.
100%.
You understand? Deal
Point.
with the boys
Black.
and the men. Leave her out of it and go straight to the boys. And you'll get her respect back.
That's right.
Give them jobs, give them education, give them training. give
Clean
them
up the
time.
neighborhood.
They not
Clean up
getting
the
none of that from
neighborhood.
black men. We don't give a
Clean
shit
up the
about
shooting
black
and the
boys.
killing and the
And then we get mad
bullshit
at her for ending
and the
up
glorification of
lives.
murder and bloodshedding.
Like I
you
said,
create the
we get.
product and get mad for her for ending up consuming the product.
All right?
She could consume whatever she wants. I'm just saying, as a black man,
It's not about her consuming whatever she wants, brother, because if we're trying to fix the black community, everybody and everything matters. It's
And that's
not individual.
understandable.
You're an
But what-
individualist. You're not thinking as a community. Your whole analysis is based on me and her. Step out of that shit. This
Mhm.
is systems at play. You understand?
Right.
Multiple black men screwed up.
Mhm.
Multiple black women screwed up. You understand me?
Mhm.
Look at the systemic nature and say, what system do we need to create as black men
That's
to
right.
prevent the Pookie and Ray Ray from coming into existence?
That's right.
or I, as a black man, can just look for a woman that is healed, that is leading in her femininity, that doesn't have a
Could
child
do
by
that,
another
but
woman.
that doesn't solve community problems. We're talking
That's
about
right.
community solutions. That's individualism.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Let me get to this last topic before we get up out of here. I do want to talk about your school because this is a great transition. You know, how difficult was it to build your school? And obviously, you had the detractors and the haters.
Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we see that's a good conversation going on there amongst black men coming down the line. This is Point Black, you know what I'm saying? Coming in on the PBNN Point Black National News featuring Omar Johnson, you know what I'm saying? Omar Johnson on the knowledge in which we need to look at in many conversations and many doings of our people based on the very fact of even building a strong political base or a base of politicalcy that would bring power and bring resources to our community. Because remember, you know what I'm saying, we have been put in these conditions in many ways. Nobody's saying that we can't work our way out of it. But what we're saying is that many of the systematic vibe and the different chemicalization and biological attacks, even on black people, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, led to many systematical attacks on our people that caused our people to fall in a different direction that it did. Even bringing in trend, like, you know, black people like to dance, they like to party, they like music, they like this. But as you see, the rap game started off one way, but now has come to this point where it's no longer what it is. It's now murder music. So, you know what I'm saying, and following gangs and following fag stuff and all kinds of stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's not hip hop anyway, because like Jadakiss and Nas said it, you know, it's dead. You know what I mean? Because they wanted to bring in this agenda. Even when it comes to the Obama situation, we see the same thing. What was Obama really going to do for black people? I told people that in the beginning. I say it's nice, it's beautiful inauguration. They crying and tears coming to their eyes, and they seen the glory of the, you know what I'm saying, the great fag up there doing his thing. You know what I mean? And so forth on. But at the same time, you know what I mean? I told people he ain't gonna do nothing for us. Because he didn't even look black to me, really. But anyway, like I said, he's not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? And you have many other black people that would have probably did the same exact thing he did. Got up into office, you know, smiling, cheese, and licking their lips and shit, you know, and then when it comes to many executive policies and rules and regulations and certain things that could be signed and make sure that it giving the black people that fair protection and resources that need to be done and that equal opportunities that equality would bring in all shapes and forms and we sitting up there getting a political candidate in office and everybody's growing and beginning to see the community work outside of just shooting, killing, and murdering each other. And the young people have to cut that out because that's not really leading to anywhere. You know what I'm saying? I don't see one thing you're getting paid for, and I don't see why you're following behind a rapper or some kind of celebrity or basketball player in some gangster rapper shit that really doesn't lead to much. You know what I'm saying? In mass incarceration has been going on since the 1970s. You know what I'm saying? When they started building all these private prisons and so on and so on. You know, a lot of this type of stuff, you know, has has been able to penetrate into the black community because of sell out black people who were in bed with these people. There is no way you're going to tell me that you're a part of a democratic, say demon democratic bullshitical cult that you call a demon Democrat or a Democrat and your result has ever shown to our people to have power within the government, to have a power to even see a growth of our people to bring forth a president into the White House. You know what I'm saying? Not even that. You know what I'm saying? We have seen many civil rights leaders step up and sing a good song. You know what I'm saying? Singing, but when you look at the results, many of the results were dead. You know what I'm saying? Like an old song. You know what I'm saying? That went away. You know what I'm saying? And wasn't even a classic. But at the same time, because if it was a classic, it would have came back. But at the same time, or last. But at the same time, we see where they're not even providing that at all. You know what I'm saying? So what we see here in the demon democratical bullshit, bipartisan, crossing party lines, one day demon, one day Republican, one day Republican, now you're demon, and you're ones in there that's been there, he doing bullshit, and the ones over here always been doing bullshit and the demon, you know what I'm saying? And then we have a whole scrambleization of all the people in America based on even their political vote. And that goes for the white people as well. You place in vote to your own destruction because in essence they're going to and as you see the time has come where they want to completely, erase you. You know what I'm saying? Or do a replacement complete theory on you. You know what I'm saying? And from what we see, it's working as we see in many ways in what's going on today. You know what I'm saying? But in the black community, we see the same thing. And we see the white community and many other communities that not is of the America or who we are based on this country here, comes in and they get all the goodies, all the two shoes, whether it's Chinese, Arab, all, and say they're taking advantage of this and that. Yeah, but we've been trying to take advantage for many years, but where's the money? Where's the resource to do so? Everything is done from a low ground, scratch and scrape all the way to the top. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be that way. The resources should be there. So in your lifetime, you are educated in more ways within the black community to understand the different flows and the different things that we need to do to get to these top of these ladders. Umar Johnson's mentioning great points all the way through. You know what I'm saying? We can't be blaming the women for this and that and the third. For what? You know what I'm saying? We men. This is what we do. Our consolation of counsel and dialogue should be a lot more stronger. You know what I'm saying? But the self-hate, the self-jealousy, and the bullshitical nonsense that has been able to fester through many different genres, such as rap music and the gangster rap, leading all the way to preschool rap and this new school crap. And a lot of times it's preschool. You have to lower the bar in order to make some of these dudes even get a rap contract or whatever they call it. And then you have them sign into bullshitical contracts. And then glorifying those sign into those bullshitical contracts of these different secret societies and all different type of bullshit going on that is so. And you bringing that to the people in the street and to the children. So we know that the destructive path has been created all the way up to this point because they was even probably doing it even back in the boom bap era. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to the message of the music, it was certain righteousness to it in more ways and different raps and so on. But they never really got the glory that was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? But that's what hip hop was supposed to do. But as it moved on and people infiltrate and this and that, it was all to gain your trust and then bring you to what we see now. Your total destruction in your mentality and even in the mentality of your very own children. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start to look at this thing more better than we're looking at it from all realms. You know what I'm saying? But we needed to look at this one by the great Umar Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned for another one coming up today as I rock the world with music.